Welcome to another episode of Founding Fathers. My name is Eric, and I am your host. Again, here we are again. Last episode I gave you a little introduction to what I'm trying to do, my end game, and my goal. Is to set up a community of people who are just want to vent and let off some steam, and it's going through some problems, some issues that maybe we can help each other out and talk about and stuff like that. But I did say last episode, in the introduction, I will get into the heart of my situation. So let's start. To get into it, it really, basically, you see, I don't really know where to begin, but let me just begin at the beginning. First of all, uh, I'm not sure how to begin, but I mean, I don't want to say it was just a meet and we met up and stuff like that. Basically, I mean, how we met is I saw her on the bus and she was beautiful. I mean, I was captivated by her beauty, and what really got it for me is she had this little diamond in her forehead. So I felt like, uh, she was on a different level. Very spiritual. So I met her. I saw her on the bus. Of all things, I was getting on the bus, going home from church, and then later on that night at night service, I saw her again. So I thought that was like, hey, we meant to be, whatever. So from that moment on, we exchanged numbers, we talked, and we cultivated a relationship, but we rushed it, and that, I think, was the number one thing that led to our destruction, is because we rushed into it. I mean, it was like as soon as we met, we was boyfriend and girlfriend. So therefore, steps led up, and then we, for me, and I don't know for a lot of other people, we see the signs, but we choose to ignore the signs. I mean, because I remember one of our episodes at church. We going to church, and I'm going to church to get get in tune with God. But she wanted to sit in church, hold hands, and all this other stuff. And I explained to her, that's not me. Then it led to other things, like I would call her and she would want to argue with me, and I'm sitting on the phone like, why are you trying to argue with me? And then it was like, oh, her thing was, oh, that's how people, I feel like people show me love. And if I gotta argue with you to show you I love you, then, something is wrong. So the signs were there. I just didn't pay attention to it because, I mean, if you haven't noticed, I have a slight accent, and I'm originally from back east, DC. So I'm coming to a whole nother world. I'm in LA now. I've been out here for 20 years, and yeah, good and bad stuff, but I'm just fresh out of DC. I don't know nothing about LA. It's walking into two different worlds for me, and we'll talk about that later. I mean, I want to talk about several things on this. But basically, the signs were there and they just kept going and going. I mean, then it got so bad I mean, it never really got too physical on my part, but at times it became aggressive and scary. I had moments where I didn't want to come home. I'm not a drinker, but I found myself going out to the car and getting drunk and sleeping in my car, getting kicked out the house, getting blamed for this, not getting her the right food. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I mean, it got to the point where I felt like my soul was gone. I had no reason to be there other than my kids. I felt like I was just existing and I was just sucking up air, taking up space, and when you get to that point, it's like you gotta do something, but it's like, what do? I don't have the strength to do anything, and I mean, you search for people and outlets that hopefully are gonna understand, but there at times you don't see anybody, you don't see any road. I mean, it was a really bad situation. And then my son, when I think about everything I went through, I think about my son and how he kind of made me face what I was going through. Because I remember several times I would sit on the couch and I would be crying, and my son would come up to me and put his small 5-year-old hands on my cheek and say, "Daddy, it's gonna be okay." So then walking him to like the grocery store to get groceries, he'd look up to me and, "Daddy, why you look so sad?" And the list go on, and that's too much for a kid to kind of have to comfort his own father, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it was a lot of stuff, and then when my daughter came along, my youngest daughter came along, and I will always, be very grateful and appreciative to her for this. I knew, and I told myself, I told others, I was like, when our baby is born, she is either is going to keep us together or she's going to break us apart. And it's, it may sound like you could take it either way, bad or good, but it was a good thing because she made me realize that I have to end this cycle. I cannot no longer put myself or my children through this. So I made the move. I mean, even after I made the decision, it still took me a few years to kind of really get on. I believe I know it was January 2014 where and I learned this. I take this from Lenny Kravitz. He said something where your hair holds a lot of energy. So I thought about that, and that was the first time I cut my hair bald. I mean, just off, and cut my beard, everything, and just cut it all off, and symbolizing to me that this is a new beginning, a new era in my life. And then from 14 to, I say, to 2016, I kind of, stayed around, but I finally made the decision, and it was so heartbreaking because I had my kids, and a part of me stayed because of them. So, and I know in order to be in their lives, I was kind of forced to be with in that situation, because it was, I mean, times I would come to try to visit the kids, and it would be like, well, you can't see the kids if you ain't got no money to give me, or I would come, knock on the door, can I see my kids? Well, they're not here, but I'll hear them in the background. I mean, just a lot of stuff. Or if you don't do what I want you to do, you can't be involved in your children's lives. Just a lot of nasty stuff. But I explained to her, and try to explain to my kids that I needed to leave. And my son, I mean, it tore me up inside. Because he sat there, we talked, and he sat there and told me, Daddy, I don't care. I need you here. I need you to stay with me. And that broke me down, inside, to hear somebody. I think he was like maybe 10 or 11. I believe he was like 10. So that really tore me up inside. But I knew in my heart, if I didn't leave, and to be honest with you guys, I knew if I didn't leave, I was gonna die, man. Straight up, I was gonna die. So I had to make that move, and I thought at the time, in my heart and in my mind, I knew if I left, I would miss the hell out of my kids. But I knew that if I could move away, I can better my life and be in a better place. So when I get them back, or when I eventually come back in their lives, that I will be a better parent. I will be a better father. I'll be a better man. I'll be a better friend. I'll be a better person to them. So I had to make that move, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, but I'm in a better place because of that, what I'm saying? And you can get out. It's hard, but it's possible. It's doable, and I want you guys to know you're not alone. There's help out there, there's resources out there, and I'm just one of those people who made it out and survived this whole thing, and if I can do anything or help anybody else out, please, I mean, do not hesitate to contact me or get with me. On the next episode, I will post maybe an email or somewhere how you can directly, get in contact with me. And I mean, I will try my best to answer, as fast as I can, because I know this is an ongoing thing. I printed out some statistics. I don't know if you can see it, but it's from the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And if you go there, I guess Google, the statistics on domestic violence, you'll get the same information. But it says, on average, 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimidating partner in the United States. More than 12 million women and men over the course of a year. So, I mean, that tells you right there. It's, it's a problem that um is not really addressed in men. Like I said last time, women. I mean, they have resources, and I feel like, and this is just my opinion, and I'm not saying it's true and not true, but in my opinion, I think is well known in the female population because it's broadcasted more. And as far as men, we keep it in so much that we don't get the resources that we need or the support we need because society and everybody, society looks at men like, y'all got to carry the load. Y'all supposed to carry the load. Y'all supposed to be hard. And we go with that. We play on that. So if we in a domestic violence type of situation, we not gonna go out there and say, yeah, my woman beat me and whoop this and whoop this. And we not gonna cry about it. We gonna try to stay strong, even though we hurt inside and stuff like that. But bruh, man, come on, man. Sometimes sooner or later we gonna break down. You know what I'm saying? And I was in class the other day because I still go to a DV class, and I think I go there just to kind of, I don't know, I mean. I like talking to people and like seeing what I can do, and hopefully I can maybe give some advice of what I went through or how I got out. But it was one of the women at the domestic violence class, and I'm gonna leave on this note because I know this is a long kind of conversation, and I want to keep it down to like maybe 5 or 10 minutes because but the lady had mentioned, well, the teacher had said something right here I have it, I'm sorry, she said, okay, tools of shame and control. Games includes threats, telling you they will take your kid and disappear, or saying there's no telling what I might do. And believe me, I went through that so many times where I got threats of I'll take the kids and you'll never see them again, or you won't see them until they get old enough, and you could be walking by the park and they'll see you and won't even know who you are and stuff like that. So I got these little things, these threats and all this crap, you know what I'm saying, and it broke me down. I mean, and that was like a lot of reasons why I stayed, because I knew if I left or just was out, I probably wouldn't be able to see my kids. So basically, the when the girl said that, when the teacher read on that, one of the ladies in class said she does that to her man, and her man was like, is supporting her. He takes her to class and stuff like that. So I just had to let her know, man, don't do that to that man, because if you have somebody in your life that wants to be, maybe not in your life, but in his children's life or in her children's life, let it be. I mean, I don't care what y'all going through, just let it be, because for a man, I mean, and I can only speak for me being a man, you play with my kids, you playing with my life. You know what I'm saying? So and see, I explained to her, when you do that to a man, you ripping at his soul. And once his soul is gone, that's it. It's no coming back from that. So like I said, I'm gonna leave on that note, and I will catch you on the next episode. And always peace and love. You guys are loved. I love you. You can make it. Keep it pushing, and y'all can survive this. All right. Peace out. See y'all next time.